Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening or watching. It's your girl, Shaeranea, right? And I'm back with another video. And today we're going to talk about female and male, yin and yang, and why there's such a great misunderstanding between both women and men. Because we're two great individuals and entirely different perspectives and come from totally different sets of mindsets. And then, like, everybody as an individual in general, based on how they were raised and how they were brought up, has a total different look on life in general as well, too. But our genetic disposition as male woman has a fixed setting on the way we are and how we see things sometimes. So, I did not post a video yesterday, but I'm going to post you guys the extra content for the day. Yeah. I was just a little too tired yesterday, y'all. But I don't make any excuses. I do make up slack where it's due. So I'm going to just post another video for today. And everybody who's watching, comment, like, subscribe, share if you like this video. And let's get to this information. So woman symbolize moon. Moon being the emotion, being feeling, being like intuition, inner depths of self, the ability to feel. So moon is woman, sun is man, which is logic, having to see physically. So it's like physical sight. Women have the ability to see things and believe in things without actually having to see. Men need results, need proof, need to see in order to believe. Now, I'm not going to say always, but majority of the time, they need results. They need to see it before it can be believed, or they need to see somebody else who's done it in order for them to truly believe in it themselves. So, a lot of misunderstanding between men and women is because women are very passionate and like a very passionate, charismatic creature. And I think women misunderstand men in a way that is based on a fixed perspective, based on our genetic emotional belief. Because you have a mental belief, but you also have an emotional belief that allows you to know things on our inner depths of a man. But some things about men can be very misleading and lead you to a very Confucius. And some things could be very confusing with men. But that's not the point. It's just to say that women, like when a woman is supporting a man, you know, like when a man speak of his ideas, a man don't speak about his ideas all the time in the sense of that's something he really believes in, or that's something he's really passionate about, or that's something that he really, really cares to do. A man sometimes do things because he know that it's going to make a way, it's going to provide a way for the family, or he knows it's going to make some money. A man sometimes sacrifices the things he really want and do things in which he really does not desire to take care of his family. And a woman can sometimes misunderstand a man because a man will pursue many things in his life, indulge in many things, spend his time doing many things, and will leave a lot of misunderstanding for a woman, because a woman does things out of passion, out of love, and that deep inner emotion for us, being emotional women, being emotional, right? And though women are very logical in a sense of stability, we're very good at stability. We want stability. We need stability. That's who we are. Like, every woman learns to mature early on and learn to figure out how to have a balance in her life. So stability is a big thing for a woman, but we're very passionate and charismatic creatures. So the other thing is, when we look at a man, sometimes we overlook the fact that men don't always do everything that they love. They don't do things out of love. They don't do things out of compassion, unless they're like really, they do things, they sacrifice a lot of things And like men should step up in a sense for themselves to do more things that they love, because I get the logic and like why men provide the way they do. And it's suitable. It's suitable for now. You know, provide and do things that you really don't desire because you know it's going to provide and make a way for your family. And you're just handling business because at the end of the day, as long as your family's taken care of, who cares? But your woman cares. And your woman wants you to be able to do the things you love as well, so that you can be more fulfilled and more happy as a man. So men should work on doing more things they love. Like, it's great to have many ideas that you know for sure is going to make money. But it's a lot of things that men love and enjoy that they can be making money off of. I'm not saying that you should put aside your logic, because sometimes even in logical, men are too practical. Too practical. There's always surface sometimes with you guys. If men can go a little deeper to understand why women speak about things the way they speak about things, why women are so keen and passionate about things the way they are passionate about things, and why we react the way we react about certain things, if men would take the time to ask. And I know men feel the same way. If women took the time to ask and not, they say assume, the word assume. It's kind of like how we're made. Both of us being two different individuals, being both one female and the other male, one emotional and one logic, one moon, one sun. Yin and yang coming together. There will always be a misunderstanding between women and men, because the purpose of yin and yang is finding a balance and aligning together. So misunderstanding is not completely bad as long as you have clarity. So clarity, as long as there's some clarity, aligning and giving the two of each other an understanding, this is great, okay? Because misunderstanding is not the biggest issue, but when you go so long without clarity or having a sureness about something, it can cause problems, okay? They say communication is the biggest key in anything. True. You can have good communication, and you can tell things, and people can hear you, and someone can really deeply listen to you, but sometimes it takes time to fully understand where the person's coming from based on their perception or what they're saying. Because sometimes the way it hit a person, it don't hit a person right then. You know, some things based on perception doesn't hit a person in all aspects. Like, it all, like the mind, like, you have to face it here before you can face it everywhere else. And like, if you're not mentally facing things, you can't face other things in your other parts of yourself with another person. So like, things between women and men can be always complicated. But I believe that there's a fine line between being obliviously blind to things, and we can have better understanding of each other, because it really requires work. It really requires time. But if you're willing to make an effort, if you're willing to do that work, then it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it. So a lot of things in relationships, because women are emotional and men are logical and too practical, like really practical. And that the fact that men are not really like good at expressing their emotions or expressing that deeper substance of themselves, like that inner substance stuff that make a man who he is. Like, because a man can be very practical on the surface a lot, and it can be bothersome for a woman who doesn't care for, you know, surface or material things. Like, a woman who doesn't care for any of that stuff, cares about the true you, the you that the inner you that makes you who you are, and your real ideas, your real, even though every idea a man has isn't based out of passion. And a woman should come to understanding this about a man, because every idea a man has is not out of passion. Not like how a woman is. A woman, she does the things she loves. She does things out of passion. If she does it, she she's 100% in, With a man, it's like, it's not like that. He does it for his reasons. He does it for this. He does it to provide. He does it to protect. He does it for this and that. It might be some selfish reasons in that, but a man does it for his own reasons, and a woman does it for her own passions and her own desires and the things that make her happy. A man, he puts aside all the things that make him happy, and he may do them in the long run, or he may not. A man really neglect to do the things that make them happy more than women do. Women are more likely to do the things they love, more than likely to pursue things they love, and would never put things on the back burner for anybody. A woman wouldn't. So my biggest thing for a man, I know men are like totally focused on like providing and because you're problem solvers, the logical and all that good stuff, and that's amazing. It's not too many good men out there that are all about making a way and providing for their family. But for the few that are out there that really take the time to do these things, it's really powerful. It's very powerful and impactful to some young women who didn't grow up in a household of a father, or just didn't grow up around good role model males. So I think it's just an amazing thing to see a male progress and get better understanding of a man, and the reasons why he do the things he do. And psychology plays a lot in that too as well, and the way that we all experience, like a lot of the things that a woman already faced, a lot of things that a woman already overgrown or overcame, a man has to experience that late in his life, and he has to overcome the things we already overcame. And that's like the crazy, it's not sad, it's the craziest thing, because it's kind of like sometimes you'll look at a man and you'll see yourself as a young woman long ago experiencing the same things he has to endure now. And it's kind of tough because you can't walk him through it, because you have to walk through it alone. All you can do is be like supportive and encouraging, and let them know that you're there, that you care and that you're genuine. You gotta show your genuine support and know that you love them, right? And that's like really big. And the thing between women and men is just like the two being genuine with each other. And like I say all the time, relationships or anything between a woman and a man is just about genuineness and giving, and like not what you can gain from it, not having these agendas or beneficial needs or expectations, because you want a person to genuinely grow into who they are without forcing things. So the biggest thing is, women, you got to understand, one big thing about a man is that because he's logic and everything about a man is not about passion, okay? I mean, I think that's really why women assume is considered to be the person who assumes. And it's not that we assumes. It's just that assumption is like a state. It's like a fixed mindset. It's a fixed belief based on our experience, based on experiences of everybody. So everybody has a fixed mindset based on experience or something that's happened to them, based on behavior that's happened to them when they was around certain people. And sometimes people, without realizing, they can project certain things that make that fixed mindset word of assumption, because assumption is a fixed mindset of how something already is based on our experience or how things was in a situation or scenario type in our lives. So let's say assuming it makes the ass out of you, but to be honest, if people don't give clarity and clarify why they do the things they do, and I get it, questions are good, and getting better understanding of people is great, but sometimes even in that, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes it's hard to get communication out of people. It's hard to get answers out of people, and you got to understand that things come in their own time. Some things can't be rushed, and they have their own process. So if it's meant to be, it will be. And women just need to understand that men are just not passionate like we are. They're passionate, they care, but not like the way we do things, not the way that we are. And though men do have a moon inside them, a feminine energy that allows them to be emotional, men don't always understand their emotions. Men don't always understand why they feel the way they feel about you. Men don't know how to explain it all the time. And sometimes when he's, able to learn to express himself, or able to grow into that part of himself as a man, to be more expressive, to say how he feels, to speak more about things beyond his desires and the things he say he wants. Because it's some parts that a man will always give, but it don't go no deeper. And then sometimes it takes time for a man to open up, which is why you got to allow people to naturally grow into who they are, and let people be comfortable with opening up and being themselves while doing so. So full acceptance of how a man is and full acceptance of how a woman is really important as well. Men should understand that women we are logical, but I think with some of us, some women, we have to go through a emotional intelligence thinking first. We have to analyze, break down the emotions, why we feel that way, why the person done this and this and that. That we have to break all that down first. Then it has to go back to a logical standpoint on why did it affect us, and what we can take from it, and how we can improve on allowing it not to affect us. Like, it's a whole process with a woman. Men will, something will bother a man, and he'll shake it off, and he'll ignore like I said, too practical. A man will not do any inner deeper work on why things are bothering him, or, it's just too surface with a man. And that's not good, because, they don't give you no deeper understanding of your inner self. But women and men can't help how they are and how they're genetically dispositioned to be. We both genetically have our own perspectives because we're born of male and woman, and then the fact that we grew up in different childhoods and grew up in different environments and grew up and was raised different ways and had our own experiences that taught us different things. So now that we're our own individuals and finally figured out who we are and what we want to be and what we want to do, it's kind of hard, drawing two worlds together and just trying to figure those things out. But just being a guy's friend or anything, like everything between women and men is very weird. It's weird. It's just entirely too weird sometimes. And like the biggest thing between women and men is just that men want to always remember that women are emotion. You know what I'm saying? Emotional intelligence, inner intuition. Sometimes a man will speak about what he thinks about something, And if a woman's like tied to you, you're very intimate with that woman. She's very in love with you and very charismatic about you, right? If you ever tell a woman what you think but not tell a woman what you feel, she will feel it in herself that you're hiding things from her. Now, she may not come out and tell you that she knows that there's some things going on inside you that she knows, but she knows. I'm not going to say all women are truly connected to themselves enough to know those things, but, a woman's vag, a woman's vag is her love canal, and that's how women are in tune and connected to everything around them. Basically through that. That's like, because sex is a scarring thing. Your spiritual energy is saved when you don't. Like, all the energy from not having sex rise from the bottom and hits the top chakra. But that's a whole nother conversation for not this time. But I'm saying the importance of knowing that sex and intimacy is an empowering thing, and it's very scarring and sacred to a few. Now, I'm not going to say it's scarring and sacred to everybody, but it's a very scarring and sacred thing in general. And it's important and empowering to know that these very deep moments, because every time you're very intimate with a woman that you love, right, you take on her energy. Every time you're intimate with another person that is not somebody who, you take on their energy, whether it be negative, you take on their darkness, you take a bit and a part of another person onto your soul and your spirit and your heart. And if you're struggling as a person inside, you're not helping your struggles. You're increasing them and you're making them worse. So this is not very good. Given that if you want to rise above it, you gotta do better for yourself. So the biggest thing with that is just like knowing your worth and knowing that you don't have to always share yourself with everybody. And that's major important. Like selective about people you share yourself with, your time, your energy, your love, your affection, just everything like that. You want to be selective about things in your life. You don't want to be so open. It's good to be open-minded, but it was times where I was open-minded, but those times in my life I didn't love myself. So it's cool to be open-minded at times in your life, but some things bring us back to a state of being where it's not worthy. It's not like a worthy standpoint. It's just like acting out of self-destruction kind of behavior. So I just want you guys to understand that there will always be a misunderstanding between women and men, no matter what. And as long as the yin and yang find some sort of balance and clarity and alignment and understanding of each other and allow each other to grow together as natural nature, of course, allows you guys to grow, or just like living in harmony with men and women and society in general. Like us all finding a balance because we're all somewhat do the same stuff. And like to put more blame on the other and than the other is kind of weird. Yes, women are more naturally able to be devotive than a man. I think all our genetic dispositions in life kind of makes things way harder. And then the society standards make it harder to live up to because no one wants to live up to society standards. Everybody want to live beyond the normality. And if you want to be somebody who is beyond the difference, you got to be the difference. And it's kind of hard living in the world. Okay? It's so much rising up against you in relationships, and it's so much and things in general. It's just so much rising against everything. And then it kind of doesn't help your belief on anything. So despite the fact that I am optimistic, and I believe that women and men can learn to work together and fully get better understanding of each other, it does require work, and only those who are willing can achieve this goal. So to love another is to truly love oneself, and just give things time. Yin yang, moon and sun, woman and man, and the importance of why there's always going to be a misunderstanding between the two, because one is emotion, one is logic, though. And then these are perspectives in itself, because like emotions, because you got different parts of yourself. You got 4 bodies. So you got the mental, you got the physical, you got the spiritual, and you got the soul. Yeah, you got the soul. So all these different parts of you has its own perspective. It has its own way of doing things, own way of seeing, own, like, the way you smell is a different perspective than how you taste. And how you hear is a different perspective than how you see. And how you see is totally different than how you think. These are all different perspectives of the body, and these are all totally different experiences. And this is why it's so freaking confusing sometimes when women and men are around each other, or women and men are involved with each other, and women and men in general. It's just like, in both of us having two entirely different experiences with each other, though it could be the same thing between each other, but the way we feel about the situation, the way we perceive it, the way it came up in our minds, the way we think about it is entirely different. If we don't learn to open up and talk about things, and get a general better understanding about things, there will always be great misunderstanding between women and men. And I just believe that we can be greater if we work at it. So, love you guys. Have a prosperous day, and know that we can all be great if we make an effort.